Hey guys, it's Sadarshi. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about tips for breastfeeding, specifically with nursing. We know that breastfeeding is not an easy journey, so I'm hoping to share some tips that have been shared with me from the women around me, whether it was my lactation consultant or my mom or some of the women around me who have been through the journey themselves. And these tips have helped make my life easier. I feel like you don't really fully realize the extent of it when you're in it, in the nitty gritty. I think it's more so when you stop, you realize how much of a toll it takes on your life. Bonding, the contact, and the nutrition that comes with the experience is kind of where you feel the feeling of a reward. Despite all of the sacrifices that are made in the process. This video is mainly geared to first-time mothers who have never breastfed before, and you are pretty confident and adamant that you do want to take that breastfeeding nursing journey with your child, and you do want to predominantly breastfeed or exclusively breastfeed your child. That is kind of where I was in the beginning of my breastfeeding journey as a first-time mother. I really wanted to take this path. I think when you're trying to do this thing of breastfeeding for the very first time, it is so strange and so foreign because, I mean, that area of your body has never been used in that manner. So to just start out of the blue right away, as soon as your baby comes out, to have to start doing this thing that's so foreign, you don't really know how to go about it. At least I did not know how to go about it. So you kind of just improvise and start figuring it out. So before I gave birth, I did some research on it just to kind of see like, how is it done at all? Because I didn't know at all. But then of course, when the baby's in your hands and you're doing it yourself, it's a completely different experience. It's like reading a textbook versus actually practicing it in real life. So what I've come up with today are 7 of the best nursing tips that I received that really helped me and helped me in overcoming any of the hurdles that came up throughout the process. And I'm hoping to share that with the mothers who are watching today, and hopefully this helps you in your journey, or at least one of the tips do. This first tip that I'm sharing is actually something that came out in my research that I had done before delivering my baby. I had absolutely no clue about this. I thought that, so if this is the baby's mouth and this is the breast, I thought that the baby just sucks on the nipple. But that is in fact not correct. The best way for the baby to get a good latch on the breast is actually by having the nipple go as far back into the mouth as possible, and then actually pushing down on the breast. And that is where all of your milk ducts are. So pretend these openings are all milk ducts, and this is the baby's mouth. The baby does not push on the nipple because that actually is very, very painful, especially when you have nipples that have never been breastfed on before. They're a lot more sensitive because they're kind of breaking in. So this is really, really painful. So what I did was I would wait until the baby had a big mouth open, and I would shove the breast inside as far as possible, and the baby would push down on the ducts, and then the milk would come out. And this didn't cause any pain. However, when this happened, this would cause pain, and there was actually no milk coming out for the baby as well. So this is a bad latch. But when you get a latch like this that doesn't hurt and is pushing back down on the ducts, that's when milk is coming out and it is not painful for the mother. So the point here is when the baby has a big mouth open, you want to insert the nipple to the back of the baby's mouth. And that's where they're gonna chomp down on. Now, the second point that I want to share is actually an extension of the first point. So I did say that they might have a bad latch, so they might be biting on your nipple. So what I was doing initially when I first started breastfeeding at the hospital is I would try to pull my nipple out. And that was even more painful than the initial chomping down on the nipple. Trying to just pull it out and get the grip out. The tip that I got from my lactation consultant when I had a bad latch was to just take my finger and stick it in to the baby's mouth. So the nipple is there, and then you stick your finger in beside the nipple and get them to start biting on your finger instead, and then you pull your nipple up. And then now you've just got your finger in there and you can pull your finger out without it hurting because it's a lot stronger than the nipple. This might have happened like 10 times in a row. Then I waited for the mouth to open wide and pushed the breast into the back of the mouth, the nipple into the back of the mouth, and tried for a better latch. But the point of sticking your finger in to break that latch was, I think, something that helped me tremendously. And it was like a make or break the breastfeeding situation, because I don't think I could have managed the pain over and over again, just pulling it out, because the pain would have accumulated to the point where I would have had to take a break and rest from the breastfeeding process. But getting the finger in there to break the latch stops the pain immediately and allows you to not even have to recover because you're not going through that pain. The next thing that I want to share is also something that was shared by my lactation consultant. So when I was feeding my baby initially, I had him like this, and I actually had one hand pushing my breast away from his nose because they're so small when they come out. You don't want them to suffocate on the breast, so you push down and you're pulling away the extra breast that's kind of like sitting on top of their nose. And what this actually does is that those milk ducts that I explained are inside the breast, you're actually pushing down on them and you're blocking the milk from being able to escape the duct. For the baby to be able to suck it and release it from the duct, you're actually blocking it. So you don't want your hand here. You can use your hand and you can hold the baby with it. You can cup the baby with it. You're not supposed to keep your hand and cover your ducts. What you can do instead to make sure that you're not suffocating the baby with your breast is you just move back a little bit, and that should open up the baby's nose and nostrils. So the point here is, do not block your duct with your hand. Do not push down on your breast. Your hand can be used just to hold the baby. So both hands can be holding the baby, or even one hand, and you can do something else with this hand. And then to not block the duct, you just kind of lean back so that the baby's nose is open. The fourth point I want to share is about how amazing our bodies are, the human body is, and the female body is when it comes to reproduction and creating baby and helping the baby survive. And this point is about demand and supply. When the baby creates a demand for the milk by suckling on the nipple, the body reacts and provides the supply. So the tip here is, and I know it's very difficult, especially because this is such a foreign experience. We've never done it before. We've never had to do something this demanding before, is to make sure that the baby is drinking every 2 hours, every single day. So that request for the milk is there. The baby is asking for it, so the body can respond and provide the milk and create that milk, so that the demand is there for the supply to come in. This is obviously a tough one, but the tip is to just keep going. Every 2 hours, every single day, make sure that the baby is getting a good latch and sucking for that request for milk to provide the supply for milk. Now, this next tip is about interferences in the breastfeeding nursing process. So when I spoke with my lactation consultant, she said that if the breastfeeding nursing journey is the one that you want to take, then do not introduce any other nipple to the baby for at least 4 weeks, so that the baby doesn't get distracted, doesn't get doesn't get influenced by other nipples that's going to take them away from the nursing process. This includes bottles, a formula, and it also includes pacifiers. So I know a lot of moms will mix these into the process, but I think this advice is more so for somebody maybe who wants to just do an exclusive nursing journey, or someone who's never done it before, so they don't really know how it's gonna go and they don't want to kind of mess it up just in case it does happen. Just because your baby takes a pacifier doesn't mean that they're not gonna breastfeed. And just because your baby takes a bottle of formula doesn't necessarily mean that they're not gonna breastfeed. It just means that it might interfere in the process. So this is, I think, the advice that the lactation consultant gave me, is to just keep it away for at least 4 weeks, just so you have the breastfeeding process down pat. And then if you want to introduce it later, you can. So this next piece of advice is obviously more so coming from like the mother and mother-in-law. And again, it speaks to how amazing our bodies are. We as women who are breastfeeding will burn about 500 to 1,000 calories extra per day. So that means that we need to be nourishing our bodies. I think that right after so we think we're hungry in the 3rd trimester, but I think that is nothing compared to, at least in my experience, to the hunger, the insatiable hunger that comes right after the baby is born and the breastfeeding begins. So your body is telling you that it is hungry and it needs those calories to not only fuel the milk that you're producing, but to fuel yourself. And you've got to take care of yourself if you're trying to take care of the baby. So eat and eat and eat and drink and drink and drink until your body is appeased, because that hunger comes in strong. So just make sure that you're replenishing. And that is my baby crying, so I will be right back. Before I have to take care of my son, the last tip that I have, the final tip that I have, is be diligent. Believe in yourself. It is a hard process and sometimes it's hard to see. Sorry about that. My phone actually ran out of space at the same time that the baby was crying. But anyways, I'm back here to finish off my point, which is to just try to be as diligent as possible and have faith in yourself, the power of your body, and your baby as well. The baby, it's a learning process for the baby as well. And you'll see that over the months, they get better at it as well. It's not just something that you are learning to do as a mother, they're also learning to do it. And trust me, they get better and better at it. And eventually they will become an expert. But have faith in yourself, have confidence in yourself. And I will end on that note. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it valuable, and I hope it was also practical enough for you to be able to take back and hopefully apply into your journeys as well. I wish you all the best in your breastfeeding nursing journeys, whatever that might look like. And if you have any comments or want to share anything, feel free to drop it. Make sure you hit the like button if you like this video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the page. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. See ya. Bye.